What am I supposed to say?
That's what I was actually wondering.
Moltres. Yeah. So, hey everyone, it's Blue Avidity, and I'm here with Will.
Yep, Aixce.
And what level are you?
Level 40, Team Instinct.
Thank you. And we're here to talk a little bit about Moltres, which is coming up this Saturday from 11 to 2. So, yeah, and we're going to talk about what counters you should be using against Moltres. And Will, since he's like a walking encyclopedia for Pokemon, is here of most things. Yeah, it's crazy. You can be in a raid and he will know exactly what a perfect CP is for a particular Pokemon or one that you pick up off the street. It's kind of cool to have him with you. So, well, and he's kind of nice too. Sometimes. Okay, so first of all, where do you get most of your information for your counters?
Mainly through Game Press and or Pokebattler.
Okay, and then, so I know you've researched it already. What have you found out about your counters that you should be using for Moltres?
Counters for Moltres, he's double weak to rock. He's also weak to electric and water, but like I said, double weak to rock. So if you want to take him down real fast and move on to the next one, rock would be the way to go. And the counters, the top counters for that, Tyranitar with Smackdown is the #1 best rock type counter. Secondarily, there's Omastar for this guy. Regrettably, unless you have Rock Throw, Rock Slide, legacy moves from 2016 till when Gen 2 first started, he would be #2. But unless you have one of those or have someone that will trade you one, technically inaccessible.
So, if you didn't evolve some Larvitars during Community Day or started playing back in 2016 and saved an Omastar with that specific move, what would you use?
Golem, just original bird killer back in the old days when legendaries first came out. Just overall tankiness, good rock attacker. Then if you don't have that, a Alolan Golem is pretty much a similar substitute.
As long as he doesn't have electric moves, or does electric moves work?
It could go either way, but rock would be best.
Okay.
Just max damage you can output with it.
So I usually use Game Press to find all of my counters. In Game Press, it talks about water types like Kyogre and Gyarados. How effective are they?
They're good. They will have enough tankiness to survive throughout the raid, or at least enough to get in a good amount of damage. So they're not bad options either.
So, and what about Rayquaza? I know you love Rayquaza.
Rayquaza, just his raw DPS with Dragon Tail Ancient Power, that specific moveset, he is actually within the top 10 counter options.
The bottom line is if you actually have the Tyranitars with Smackdown, put a little Stardust in them and use them. If not, do something with your Golems and put some Stardust in them and use them. little bit about using what the game actually brings in for you to use versus actually using effective fighters. We did a raid with a few people just a little bit ago, and we did a Reggie Rock. We all used the counters that it brought in, and I'm going to show you while we're talking about this. They weren't very effective. They had good HP. They held their own.
They have enough resistance to make it through, but that's all the recommended is. What the game recommends is surviving through the raid.
Right. So if you plan on using the recommended number that the game recommends to do the raid, then yeah, go ahead and use the recommended team. If you plan on doing a raid with less than the recommended, you should look at your fighters, look at either Game Press or the
Pokebattler,
and figure out what you should be using, because it's kind of important. If you think that you're gonna go and duo Tyranitar because you have
Moltres.
You've seen people actually duo a Tyranitar, it's probably not going to happen if you're going to use the recommended. So we actually did the recommended. There were 5 of us. We didn't finish it, and yeah, it was
close, but no cigar.
Yeah.
And saying would go.
Yep. And then we did it again with the fighters that we've actually researched to use, and we actually beat it with 75 seconds left?
Yep.
Which is a crazy amount of time. Same amount of people, just using different fighters. So we just kind of want to stress that point. We've seen a lot of people that will go into raids and not use very effective fighters because they either think that the other people in the raid are gonna, do the damage, or that's just what they've always done.
Just bring in the recommended is all they've done, and just go through the raid. If they have to go back through, they'll just bring in recommended again, over and over, and that could make a big difference between completing the raid, depending on how many people you have in your raid lobby and what they're bringing in.
Or calling other people to come help you because you didn't finish it.
Yep.
I wish that people would research the fighters a little more. That's how I actually got most of my fighters to be where they're at, was, I would find a level 3, no matter what it was. I'd go to it. I'd start at the beginning of the timer, and I would fight it with the recommended. I would power them up, fight it again. Did I say with the recommended fighters, being from Game Press, or, well, I use Game Press, so, and then I would just keep powering them up until I actually could beat it on my own. And that's how I started making fighters and knowing what to use against what I'm battling against.
Yeah, the particular raid boss.
Yeah.
The specific one you're up against, what its weaknesses are, what its resistances are. Just overall learning what you can use against it.
Right.
And be effective.
So you'll see while we're talking about this, you'll see the 2 different battles. I'll have them running, and where things ended. It just wasn't pretty when we weren't using the correct fighters. In the description of this video, I'm gonna put both links, one to Game Press and one to Pokebattler, so that you can look at them, kind of see what's best for you, and it's just helpful tips, finding out from other people, and knowing, that you should be using fire against grass or something like that. I know a lot of the researchers are actually helping with that and knowing what's best against what. But sometimes, people just look at the research, do it, and not realize what it's trying to teach you. Anyways, this is just a quick video. I just wanted to let you guys know And wish you all good luck for Moltres, and hope everyone gets shinies and
Shinies, amazing IVs, get them done. Don't
yeah,
get left out.
amazing IVs. Yes.